Jam on toast!
Hey everybody, we're here today to talk about Into the Wild. This is a SourceFed Movie Club review. So the short sale on this one is that a kid who graduates college decides to follow his philosophical dream of living a very minimalistic lifestyle, and he literally burns all his money, destroys all his ties to society, and tries to live kind of on the lam in order to fulfill his dream of going to Alaska to live in the wild. Which right off the bat is a crazy, great idea for a movie. The trouble is someone did it in real life before they could do it. I'm actually mad at myself because I didn't watch this movie for years because I thought it was something else. I thought it was another movie I'd actually seen. And then recently, I kept thinking it was Ned's because the ending of Ned's is so bizarre that I thought it was the ending of this movie. So wonderful a surprise to find out that this is its own great movie. My love it for this, because I was just surprised all over with the movie, was Jenna Malone. I'm a big fan, and I don't know if she just hit me at the right time when I was growing up and we're kind of the same age, but everything she's been in I would recommend to somebody else to watch, and she plays very powerful characters. And to be honest, as a narrator, she can read me to bed anytime she wants. As good as this movie is, still my favorite part is that I got to see a little bit of Jenna Malone again after all this time. My hate it is where they're at the bar and Emile Hirsch and Vince Vaughn are having a conversation, and it really took me out of it when they just kept saying society. I was like, okay, when is this movie gonna start again? It just kind of ruined the moment for me. I really wasn't expecting Vince Vaughn, and I can't really say he contributed well to the movie. The MVP for the movie was definitely Emile Hirsch. He carried this, he made us believe in the character, and he did such a good job. Although the real life MVP for this is Chris Camillus himself. Someone actually went and did most of these things, and he deserves credit for it. On to the categories. Aesthetics. This movie was everything it needed to be at every point in the movie. There wasn't a single point where I was looking at it and I'm like, well, that's messed up. I had no visual complaints whatsoever. Some beautiful landscapes. Emile Hirsch was on it, you made it believe it, even as he's getting thinner and thinner. The wildlife they had him interacting with was on it. Even the characters were visually significant a lot of the times. And I'm not just talking about the beautiful naked redheaded girl. I'm not just talking about the lovely Kristen Stewart. From the hippies to all the guys at the meal plant, just everybody was their own notable character. And I love watching this movie, which usually takes something special for it to happen. Aesthetics gets a 95. Character development. This was a little jumbled. I didn't get nearly as much of character development for a lot of the side characters that I wanted to. Like, I still don't know why Vince Vaughn went to jail, and maybe that's my fault because I was chasing kittens. But we definitely got through and through of Chris Camillus' character. Emile Hirsch just does a good job of explaining in the moment what that character's thinking and doing. Unfortunately, the script doesn't really allow for us to see his growth, and maybe that's fair because you're only getting what these people dug up out of their journals and secondhand accounts. And we find out more about the parents and a little bit about his sister, but honestly, there's a whole development story before the movie starts that I wouldn't mind spending another half hour to see. Maybe not included in the mandatory part of the movie, but I'd like to see that extra. Character development gets an 85. Storyline. Now, it's always hit or miss with me when you start in the middle of a story. This almost starts at the end, which can be a very clever trick if you do it right. And I'm not entirely sure they did. It really threw me off because I was trying to learn the character, and it actually hurt character development more than anything that I didn't have contiguous line of thought with these people, and then I had to put it together later and go, oh, okay, I got it. But the story itself is a very compelling one. I would have liked this particular story to be in order. Good writers and directors that have a script or a movie that's not quite where they want it to be will often switch things around to try to make it more powerful. And it works, however, being more powerful does not make it better. Storyline gets an 80. Compulsion. Guys strung me along the entire movie. I want to know more about Chris Camillus. I want to know more every moment what's going to happen next, what adventure is going to happen. Is he gonna do this? Is he gonna do that? While there's a lack of sex in the movie, like the whole time I was like, who's he gonna get with? Because there's this whole philosophy of truth and not needing much. So I thought they would go very bohemian and actually lead to a love story, which we never got, but it didn't need it. And more than likely because it either wasn't there in real life or no one was there to give us that account of it. Regardless, Compulsion gets a 90. Now if we average all that up, we get an 87.5. That puts it in the top tier. Anyways, for my wrap-up review, I would say that there's only so much you can do with a story that actually happened. You can only change so much for creative or entertainment purposes and still have the same story. So you have to kind of work with what's going on. And I can't imagine how much work actually went into finding out what happened to him on his journey, all the way to tracking down to where he actually was. And I'm sure it was an accident finding his body. He was that creepy dead body in that van for some campers. I can only hope he went out as peacefully as he did. This movie is a great experience in exercising philosophy, and it is a sad but great journey to take us on. It may not be for everyone, but I'd say go ahead and give this one a try. That's it for me. I'm Cameron. Have a nice day.